Hi, hello everybody. Thank you for clicking onto the video. In today's video, we're going to talk about a conversation that Gilbert Arenas had with the people on his podcast, and talking about the mental challenges that happens when players are in high stressful situations on the court or field.
I watched Orlando and my man struggle for the free throw line and missing all that. Nigga Anderson, when he missed some free throws in the playoffs, I remember what happened to him after that, those free throws. Like, every time he went to the line, the rest of his career, he thought about that. I didn't want that. So after I missed those free throws, when that gym cleared, I sat there and just shot 2,000. Shot 2,000. But that's why I came back the following year. That's when I said all the game winners. I even went to Frank. 2,000, Gil? 2,000. Okay. Woo. I even went to Frank as a special ops guy in San Fran. Yeah. You know? Yeah, you told the story. Yeah, so I went to him for mental conditioning. I just wanted to make sure this shit was up here, man. Because, you know, when you lose this, it's over for you. Yeah. So I had to put me through some mental stuff. Week later, it's over. So
it can happen to any athlete, but in this particular situation, we're just going to focus on basketball players. His particular example, he brought up Nick Anderson. Nick Anderson was a player on the Orlando Magic's team with Penny, Shaq, 3D, Dennis Scott. And he was saying that Nick Anderson missed those free throws and he was never the same. As fans, we really tend to not realize how stressful those type of situations are when you're trying to score the last shot, or you're on a free throw line and it's just you and the ball. And we've seen athletes crumble in these situations. And it's something that we have to realize is that there are levels to this. There's levels in basketball players, and there's levels within the top stars. There are players that we consider stars that can't come up big in the big moments. In Philly, this is more it's more fresh to us when we see Ben Simmons, how Ben Simmons has crumbled from what he was to what he is now. Ben Simmons is a shell of himself. And you can see how he devolved, where a quote Draymond was saying, I forget who he was talking to, he was saying that Ben Simmons still has the same skill set. He still is talented as the person who made the All-Star game, who was taking the league by storm. But the difference is he doesn't have confidence. And when a player doesn't have confidence, it doesn't matter how talented that person is. They're not going to do well because their mind is not there. And that Atlanta series is a defining moment in his career. Now, granted, there have been situations that it has led up to that, his lack of jump shot and not scoring in the fourth quarter during that series. But passing up that dunk is the moment when his career took a turn for the worse, and ever since then, he's been a shell of himself. He had to get out of Philadelphia because he knew he'd have been booed. And it's something that Gilbert Arenas sat there and said, and I didn't think about it until he brought it up. When it comes to athletes, and especially basketball players, you're not booed in Little League. You're not booed in AAU. You're not booed in high school. You're not booed in college. And when I'm referring to booed, I'm saying being booed by your own fans, not the opposing fans. That's something you expect. In the NBA, you can get booed by your home team. Your home fans. And if your home fans don't like you, they will boo the hell out of you. And so I'm pretty sure that's something that impacts them. And Gilbert Arenas brought that up, and I didn't think about it. He was like, you really are not confronted with those situations until you're in the NBA. And so when you look at star players, moments like Michael Jordan scoring over Craig Elo, or Reggie Miller, 13 points, and Reggie Miller and Tracy McGrady doing heroics when they're scoring like a lot of points in in a number of seconds. And all those heroics that you see those players do, there are also failures within that. The difference is they can block those failures out and they can keep going. Whereas some players, once they experience that failure, they shy away from it. And as they shy away from it, it's not something they want to do. In terms of Ben Simmons, If Ben Simmons doesn't shoot the ball, he can't be. And it probably in his mind is like, okay, if I don't shoot the ball, I can't be booed. The problem with that, though, it's not helping you or it's helping the team. I really didn't think about until I watched that video. I mean, even now with the Sixers' last playoff run, when you look at James Harden, you look at Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid has been in a situation where he's had disappointment after disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. He's learned how to lose in the second round. We all know the picture of him crying after the Kawhi Leonard shot. We know, he's tied to Ben Simmons. So those second round series that he lost with Ben Simmons, he takes the brunt of that because he's still here. James Harden, even with James Harden at the height of his powers, he's had some flameouts in the playoffs. I mean, at one point, it's just you sit there and you wonder how long or how many times when it comes to a point where that's in your head. Because for me, it's not a coincidence during that series when Tatum made their shot. You physically saw him and Embiid just slump and they quit. It's like here we go again, and that's when you need that person that can fight through that. And not everybody can fight through it, and not every star is built like that. That's why one of the reasons why I just don't think Embiid and Harden is a good fit after seeing this, because you need a person that's going to be able to fight through that. You need like a Jimmy Butler, or you need a person that can just sit there and just have short-term memory and kick you in the butt. Like, nah, dog, you got to keep going. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about that because that's something that fans just don't think about. And there are fans that sit there that really think that they're just as good as an NBA player. But in the words of the great Brian Scalabrine, he's closer to LeBron than you are. And he was the last man on the bench. Thanks for listening. Click the subscribe button. Click the bell. Please comment. All right, I'm out.